Hi everyone, Claude Diamond here. Just a quick little introduction before we get to the video. It's from a live training session, very little editing or anything in there. One of the questions I'm asked the most from people is about contracts in lease purchasing. Although my theory, my philosophy could apply to any area of creative real estate. Keep your contracts simple, keep them very straightforward, and guess what? People will sign them. And if you have any questions, call me. Like I always say, I answer my own phone. You knew I was going to say that. Hey, enjoy the video. Thanks for coming here. Bye-bye. And George, you and I are talking today about contracts. And
right.
I have your permission to tape this, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're talking about contracts, and you're using different contracts from different people, and you're using mine. And I have a philosophical difference in contracts than a lot of people. Maybe it's because of my real estate investor background and my legal background. My bottom line as a businessman is to get the contract signed.
Right.
Okay? Whereas most people, I think philosophically, they want a contract to cover every nuance, everything. They'll go in front of an audience, you'll hear the guru and say, oh, my contracts have this and this. If they leave the garbage cans out overnight and they don't put them in the garage and they don't clean them, I get to charge an $8.95 penalty fee. And they've got all these stuff. And as a result, their contracts are very long. I have seen contracts, George, 40, 50 pages.
Yeah.
Okay, and my thing is, I'm a KISS method guy. I'm a minimalist. Keep it simple and get them to sign it so I go to the bank.
Right.
Whereas when I think a lot of people, when I see a contract that's too complicated, I start reading it and I start straining my eyes and I start thinking, man, before I sign this, I better know what I'm signing. I think a lot of people say, maybe I better take this to my attorney or
right.
Uncle Harry, the real estate agent, or my accountant. And the problem is if they don't sign it then, and we talk a lot about in Guts, the emotion of someone gets excited, the $1 million rule. They get a problem. They get real excited. They want to do the deal. Hey, yeah, let's sell this property with a lease purchase. Let's move into it with a lease purchase, invest in it. And where do I sign, George? And they see something nice and simple.
Right.
1 or 2 pages. What do?
Yep. I hear what you're saying.
They sign it. So to me, when I see it too complicated, I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I would agree.
So that's my overall philosophy. Maybe my contract, I have heavy duty contracts too, but my favorite contracts are the simple ones. The 1 or 2 pagers. That basically say, let's take the residential lease. Let's say how long, when they have to pay us, things, who's responsible for the repairs, how much, a couple legalistics like force majeure, things like that. And then
the assignment.
And the assignment, very important. Thank you. The assignment is the $1 million clause. The ability to sublet, transfer, convey the rights that you have or been given to you by the owner of the property to a third or even a fourth party and sever all liability. That means you can sublet it, you can rent it, you can live in it, you can sell the contract, you can hypothecate the contract, split it up. You can do all this stuff without the mortgage, without the legal liability, without repairing the roof if it leaks or the heating system. And to me, keep it simple and keep it powerful. And you're in business, and man, you're in business and you're making money.
Right.
But the thing that I dread is I send this complicated contract to somebody, and that Mr. Guru told me to send, and I had a great conversation with somebody. I sent them the contract. Then they come back to me. What does this mean? What does that mean? And I don't mind explaining. I'm not trying to confuse somebody, but the thing is, the more doubts and the more questions that come up, I think we take a positive situation and we make it possibly negative. And I think we screw the pooch. We kill the deal.
Yep. I think that's a definite possibility. I guess the one thing that I was trying to accomplish with this, though, was to be able to use the performance lease aspect, which is, if I don't collect any money, then I don't owe you any money in terms of rent.
There's some good things in this contract, but it's very, very, it basically does what it's supposed to do. But I found it's very complicated. I had to reread this contract, and I have a legal mind. I know I have to read it and read it very carefully, and I thought it was very complicated.
Okay.
And here's where my thinking evolves to. If I find it complicated, what's going to happen to the prospect, the tenant buyer, or the investor, or the owner? In a worst case scenario, God forbid this went to court, and this got in front of a judge. Do you think the judge with a really big judges have a big schedule? They might hear, if they're in court, they might hear several cases in one day. Okay.
Right.
Or they might if they get this case and they see this and this judge has to read this, he's not going to be happy with you.
Okay.
That's my experience. So he's going to look at it, and I think he's going to take the side of the defendant.
Right.
This is your contract. This is your contract, George, right? And what did you mean here, here, and here, and here? I don't even understand this. And there's some contradictions in this. It's when it's too complicated, I think you turn off the judge. I think you turn off the prospect.
Okay.
This is subjective. You can disagree with me on this, but I'm a businessman. I just want to make money.
Yep, I agree. I don't disagree with you
on this.
Yep.